let's start from the beginning. Okay, so first, thanks everyone for coming. In this call, we are going to speak about Matchbox. What is our goal? What we're trying to achieve, and how. And then we'll do a round of introductions. What everyone is working on, and what is excited about building going forward. And in the end, we'll speak more about how to join as a member and what is the meaning of being a member. Okay, so MatchboxDAO was established to build the stack of on-chain games and to develop the future of on-chain games, probably starting building on Starknet, and the reason I guess the motivation for that is because we think on-chain games is something that is just starting to be possible, and there is many things that can be achieved that was not possible until now. So now is the time to start building cool things, and everything that is now called blockchain games is not basically achieving the full potential that to be called the blockchain games, because the logic is not on chain, and so we think many things could be built that are not that were not possible until now. And okay, so how, right? Like what we're actually going to do is a few things. First, we are going to collect basically a list of primitives and stack and tooling that the game developers that are currently building in the space think that is the most necessary. And then we're going to have like working groups, and these working groups will work to build those tools, those libraries, those primitives, and each group will have product managers that will be responsible for that one or several products that with the same direction, and this is one way or the beginning. This is how the beginning going to look like. And then other ways we are going to support the ecosystem is through grants, education, and investments. Grant and education is important because most of the talented people in the world are not yet working on on-chain games. They are still working on other things. So, but I guess the shift is not too big. So we think that there is a very big ROI in spending time and effort in hackathons and educational materials and puzzles and stuff like that to increasing the pie, like make the amount of developer bigger. So we'll also do a lot there, and obviously investment just to support established projects. So this is the how, and I guess that's the the main points, and now we can basically give the mic to people here, and if anyone wants to speak about what the project that he's working on and what he's excited about seeing in the future in terms of tooling and projects and whatever. And in the end, we can speak about how to join as a member and what it means to be a member.
Hey.
And
Should
I don't
start?
want to speak over Aro. I'm not sure if you're part of the team or anything, but
No.
I'm up here as well, so I'm happy to share as soon as you're done.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, hi, I'm Anna. Actually, Arrow is just my Discord name. I do a podcast called Zero Knowledge. I do a event series called ZK Hack, and I've been in the space for a long time, and I'm excited to hear more about what the plans for this organization are. Was I supposed to say something else? Sorry.
No, I guess that's great. And if you're, like also curious to see something around games in particular, or other things that you are interested to see exist, in the world, you can also elaborate on that. But that was great.
I mean, I've been following some of the ZK-focused games. I'm hoping to do later this year like a hackathon, and I'm hoping at the hackathon we could actually have some experimentation around sort of the fog of war, using ZK for fog of war in all sorts of ways. I mean, I remember last year we did a ZK Summit event where actually the Dark Forest folks did a thing called Boat Fight, which was kind of like Battleship, using zero-knowledge proofs. And it's just like a little game, but that's the sort of part of the industry I'm excited about.
Nice.
Yeah, I would agree. I'm Chris, the lead dev for Influence. JP is also up here. He's our community and partnerships director. We're in the process of migrating from L1 to StarkNet, and I think it's interesting. One of the things that I see a lot is a bit of a source of confusion is that zero knowledge rollups don't mean that you immediately have access to zero knowledge proofs in the sort of fog of war, hidden information sense. And I think it's a very important primitive for games. It's certainly one of the components that will be important to Influence as we grow, especially as we grow towards our PvP combat expansion in the future. Where we want to start introducing pieces of the fog of war. But very excited to see this effort.
I also wanted to say, I'm super excited to be here and hear about what you guys are doing. We're gung ho on StarkNet. We're huge fans of I'll call it Layer 2 2022, and what is Influence and things like that. And why are we here? I mean, we're a game building on StarkNet. We're a space strategy MMO, and we want 100% of the game mechanics on chain. And so this is a perfect fit. Really excited that more communities and partners and projects are starting to pop up out of the woodwork. We've got a pretty big road ahead of us. There's a lot of challenges that I think as a community that hopefully we can solve, and like you said, we can hopefully utilize grants, investments, and partnerships to try and integrate some new feature sets to this overall platform, so that games like Influence can thrive, and hopefully maybe our challenge is a bit bigger in the beginning than others will be in the future, but that's pretty typical. Someone's got to blaze the trail, and we're pretty excited about it.
Hey, Yoni.
Hey.
So I want to talk about Z Casino, which we're building. I'm the founder of Z Casino, and what we're actually going to do is build a decentralized casino on StarkNet. And we are right now we're working on making VRF, where it's gonna prove the randomness and everything. So once everything is gonna be ready, we're gonna have some alpha version when everyone can check it out. And once we go live on StarkNet, we're expecting to have a few games lives, and everything is gonna be fully decentralized, and have DAOs up where people can vote for which games will be added, and many more. So I'm gonna post a link on the general
I would personally love to hear more about what your approach to VRF is. I don't know if now's the time, but would be very interested.
Yeah, we will.
Hey there, my name is Martin. I work at OpenSebling. We are working on the Cairo contracts library, which is a set of smart contracts you can reuse to build your projects. Some of those include the 721 ERC, and we also have an open PR for the 1155, which is very useful for gaming, as you may know. I've been around on the StarkNet community for a few months now. I really like the approach of the wars to gaming, which is to take advantage of the computation moving outside the main chain to L2 and trying to compensate storage usage, paying with more computation. So props to Perama and Gildy Yosa and the whole the Wars team. I also wanted to mention that if you have any question or feature request for the contracts library, please send it over my way. I have the same handle on Twitter, GitHub, here on Discord. And one more thing that you may be interested in is that we are also planning to add StarkNet support for Defender. For those who may not know it, it's basically an operations platform for decentralized systems. So yeah, really happy to be here, guys.
Francesco, do you want to go ahead? Gildy Yosa? Harrison?
I'm trying to get one of devs to come and talk about Casino and VRF, how actually everything's going to be working.
Cool.
I'm being told that I forgot to mention Nile, which is another project we're working on. It's basically a development environment for working on StarkNet projects. It's basically like Hard Hat, but more native to Cairo. And Francesco here has been helping a lot with that project.
Awesome.
So I'm Francesco, and as Martin mentioned, I'm helping out with developer tools. So I'm working on Nile, which is more like the DApp tools for StarkNet, right? It's more cool. And also I'm working. The other day I released the React.js library for StarkNet, right? Which uses the library that Sean wrote by Trace Light Hood. So if your game is implemented like in basically in JavaScript and React, it should be easier to use. So hopefully that way it makes it easier for people to just start building small web browser games for StarkNet. And then I'm also working on Atlantis, which is basically the idea is to have auctions and maybe order book based auctions on StarkNet. So games can either there can be like a marketplace and like a sort of like a store for games where the players can exchange items in the game.
Hey guys, I'm Saif Kopp, one of the co-founders of MetaDrop. So MetaDrop's basically a full stack NFT platform, starting with a launchpad for unique NFT drops. We're interested in a lot of different applications of NFTs, but particularly interested in gaming and on-chain gaming. And we worked with a number of gaming projects already, like Veil and Raid Party. And yeah, definitely interested in working with more. So if you're building an on-chain game, feel free to reach out. We're also very interested in some unique kind of features that we can build out on MetaDrop using infrastructure built out on Starkware.
I'd love to learn a little bit more about what you guys do, but maybe I can reach out to you afterwards.
Yeah, for sure. Just DM. We can chat there.
That sounds great. Thanks.
Sweet.
Hello everyone. I'm Gildy Yosa. I'm co-founding Topology with Kunho, and love to be here with all the ZK/StarkNet pioneers. We are building towards on-chain, massively composable metaverse, whatever that word means. But we want to help drive standards and interfaces so that layer 2 native applications can all talk to each other. And a couple example would be, the Loop project, where they're not exactly building a game, but they're building a seed for many games and applications to be on top of, and we want to help drive that movement. And some of the things that we have already been working on includes a tiny physics engine, MIT license, so any smart contracts can pass in, an array of game objects, and the physics engine will simulate the rigid body interaction between a game object and so on. We're also building on-chain storage and manipulation of MIDI files. So you can imagine having smart contracts algorithmically composing music, and then you can have another utility smart contract that composes MIDI file ready to be retrieved by any client. So it's client agnostic, and so on and so forth. So we're happy to work in different domains with different artists, and we want to help drive standards so that we are building content Legos that can work with each other.
I figure I'd jump in next. I'm very much interested in the same sort of standards-driven sort of stuff. I'm Sammy Bao. I'm the founder of 0x Essential. I have a game on Polygon. I'm not in the StarkNet ecosystem at all. I've been building on Polygon, so I've got an on-chain game called Wrestlers there. It's just like a wrestling game. You can just fight against like a blockchain CPU. In terms of standardization, I'm interested in like standardizing like actors or types of objects for games to enable that composability, right? So you can create a standard for how to express a car or a basketball player and these things. I think that can create a sort of situation where anybody can build games on top of that. And, we're not just talking about bringing skins into things, but having these sort of save states that are on a sort of public protocol that are applicable to multiple experiences. In terms of like tooling stuff, I've been doing a lot of meta transaction things. And so I'm pretty excited about some of that stuff and some EIPs that are going to final just this week for off-chain data. So sort of allowing developers to build layer 2 experiences that use tokens that are on layer 1 by doing meta transactions with the sort of middleware off-chain lookup.
Hey guys, I just like to jump in. So I'm Paul from OP Games, and I really like what Guilty Gyoza and Sammy you mentioned around Legos. So at OP Games, we are trying to help game developers who don't really know a lot about Web 2 yet to move into Web 3, and I think it's these primitives that are needed to be built and these standards which will help them join us here to make Web3 games. So just happy to make those connections and happy to help build these tools. And I can join any standards discussion as well and contribute what I know from the standards that we are looking at also.
Hi guys, I'm Tiago from Shard Labs. We've been working on the StarkNet for some time now in helping with different tooling, namely the DevNet and the HardNet plugin, and also StarkNet.js. And we are also interested basically on everything that will come around to StarkNet and particularly within the gaming industry, because it's something that we are interested on. So just happy to be here and getting the information from all of you.
Not sure if anyone here is from the Argent team, but I know many of the games up here are likely, needing to integrate into wallets pretty soon. And I'd love to just hear if anyone has any knowledge on, kind of the feature set or anything that might be specific for gaming that's coming out on any wallet, not just Argent. That's just one that is fairly talked about.
Sam, maybe if you want to elaborate on that, because you did some work on wallets and games.
You talking to me, Yoni?
Yeah, I mean, if you like, but
yeah, I mean, I don't know that I've done a ton of work on wallets and games as much as supporting meta transactions, and so and network agnostic meta transactions, I think, is really interesting, right? So Rasslers is running on Polygon, and the ability to sign messages from Ethereum mainnet and use that for a game move. I don't know. I have some notions of like wanting to build a wallet. I'm really curious about like how Mirror does their stores signing keys in the browser. I guess I would say that like I'm particularly focused on like user experience, and it just really takes you out of the flow of playing a game if you have to click this browser extension wallet interaction, every 30 seconds or whatever. So that's sort of stuff that I'd be curious in learning more about, but I certainly wouldn't, I'd be very, very anxious to start working on something like a wallet and managing people's private keys. So I'm no expert.
Hey guys, just to jump in, I think one thing we could take a look at is what the Horizon people are doing with Sequence. I know the wallet that they use for Skyweaver is open source, so it's Sequence.build, something that might be useful for us.
Yeah, I think we have enough games up here that there might be some common features that we all need. So tackling them together would be pretty cool. I think I know at least on the influence side, we've talked about possibly setting up like bounty programs or whatever it might be in conjunction with Starknet and that team to try and get some additional features built that most games aren't going to want to tackle all by themselves. So if anyone wants to reach out to me after this, we can create a list of possible common features that most games are going to need, and we can see what we can do. I'm excited to get some of that stuff going, the ball rolling at least.
Sweet. Anyone else want to make an introduction of what he works on?
Hi. Can you guys hear me? This is Robert Drost.
Yes.
Okay, great. I'd like to introduce myself, and I'll dox a little bit here. Jim Barry. Actually, I'm not. He used his PFP with his name on it. He's the little black kitty cat down below. We're from Consensus Mesh. And Jim Barry, I just want to mention who he is, since he's been in the gaming industry for his whole career. But at Consensus, he created Virtue Poker. He was the founder and the technical architect of that. I don't know how many people are familiar, but it is a Malta residing online poker system with decentralized adjudicators who do judging and other things. So good experience there. He has, I think, one project that we're working on that may be relevant for people here to take a look at is called Apian, A-P-A-I-A-N. You can take a look at it on GitHub. Jim has a lot of experience, obviously, as a lot of people do here, but his experience on trying to do gaming on blockchain is that it is very difficult to make things real time at the level of like what you would expect to be able to do with Unity and pulling, millisecond type latency interactive games and so forth. So the APN project is, if you want to think of it, kind of a dynamic L2 that can be created on demand off of a blockchain that allows a peer-to-peer consensus group to pull state out of a blockchain once it's plugged in, and then to run effectively, what would be a full Unity 3D environment, real time, play a game, do BFT consensus on it, potentially with additional adjudicators, and then record that information back. So it's really an extension that allows you to, interface blockchain together with what would be an external world without having to rely on a centralized server, which has a lot of governance and other things that kind of come in there. It could be almost like a server client in the sense that adjudicators could be a trusted server. Anyway, it's an interesting project I would mention here. The thing that's maybe a little bit contrarian, I think Jim's had this opinion. I mean, he's writing this platform because it's something he needs to write for his next game anyway. But it is hard to build very generalized gaming platforms only on chain because of the latencies. I know StarkNet is going to help with that a lot. But just keeping in mind, the story of blockchains has been a lot about L2 scaling. This aspect of having a platform for good L2 scaling for games, we think is going to be important. So anybody who's interested, feel free to just connect with us. Awesome. And very interested in what MatchboxDAO is doing and how people like us can be connected in the community. We'd be happy to stay involved.
Awesome. Yeah, actually, that's a very good use case for one of the working groups. Like that's exactly what Matchbox is for. Like to coordinate between people that want to work on different components and primitives and tooling.
Hi everyone. Yeah, maybe I think it's good to introduce myself. I'm really happy to be here, and I am building a layer 2, which is for the private transaction, and its project name is Zico Pro. Recently introduced my project on Anna's ZK podcast. I'm really happy to be here because recently I started a hobby project, which is a ZK game, and it is really a simple game which is a vaccine versus virus. So we let some NFTs have some coffee chat, and each of them does not know the opposite is infected or vaccinated or uninfected, like that. So this is I'm just building this for fun, and it'll be really great if I can add some benefits like some the toolings and like a toolbox or something else. So yeah. Really happy to be here.
Hello everyone. I'm Swab. I'm working on a crypto game called Spaceborne along with Paul from OP Games. And this game is a sci-fi game where you can earn token earning NFTs. So by token earning NFTs, it means that when you utilize these NFTs in the different games that independent developers publish, the developers and the players both earn these tokens. So it's like a play to earn game, but the developers themselves can earn profits from it. So that's one of the things I'm working on, and I'm also working on more crypto-native game engine, which allows developers to publish games directly to networks and utilize different NFTs, different contracts, all within the game engine itself. And I'll be happy to contribute and discuss with you guys more about what you guys are working on. Thanks.
Nice.
Yeah, hi guys. I can introduce myself quickly. I'm Saratobi, head of partnerships at YGG. So just interested to hear about what people are building in the kind of gaming space and solutions for developers. I think I know some of the people here already. So hello everybody, and interested to hear what you guys are working on.
Hey folks, I guess I'm next. Lovely meeting everyone here. So I'm not working on a game per se, but I've been interested in the gaming ecosystem, the crypto on-chain ecosystem for a while. So I'm founding Brick. It's the biggest NFT project on StockNet currently. So I know some of you, I know Guilty Gyoza and a couple others. I've written a couple of articles on the exact challenges of having a game running fully on chain, as you guys have mentioned, hiding information, which is something that Dark Forest is doing. So really happy to be part of the conversation. I'd love to learn more about what you folks are building and maybe brainstorm with you.
Nice. Is anyone else also want to make an introduction, or?
Hey, this is Guilty Gyoza again. Wanted to jump in because my partner Kindle's microphone is not working somehow. Quickly adding that we want to provide grants for developers who are aligned with our mission to build standards that are connecting different smart contracts and protocols so that content Lego can be possible. Further down the line, we're also planning to have hackathon, but that's more of a toward a midterm to long-term plan. But yeah, happy to talk to anyone who agrees that standards are like languages, and we can all shape the language that allow protocols to talk to each other. Thank you.
Nice. Cool. Yeah. So thanks everyone for the introductions. Okay. So now for the main dish stuff. So I'll say now a few words about how to become a member and what's going to happen in the next 3 months. So in the next 3 months, we are going to shape exactly how everything that you mentioned should look like and what should be some of the first mechanisms to collaborate, and for that reason we are basically opening the DAO for the first 20 contributors to design together the first primitives and the first tooling that Matchbox will work on, and the first working groups, and also designing the mechanics of how the governance, how to accept a member, and what is the different tiers of contribution, and so forth. And so we will publish a form in the general channel. And anyone here that is interesting to become among the first contributors that will help design how Matchbox will work and what will be the first things to build, invited to fill it out, and then we'll have another call, I guess within a week or something like that. So we'll publish it on the general channel. 1 second, let me do it. And Okay, I think I just did. And yeah, and then for the next events, I guess we will also publish it on the general chat. Yeah, if anyone have anything to add, to ask, to comment, you are invited to do so. Cool. I guess no one have anything to add or any question?
Yeah, I would just have one thing to add. There's another community called the Decentralized Gaming Association. Some of you may probably know them. It's a group of very OG people trying to build games on chain. So you have people like Ronan, also known as We Go Wild on Twitter. He built Conquest, and before that, Eternal. You have some people from the Xayah team who initially built Hunter Coin, which was probably the first playthrough in game. I think it would make sense to reach out to them because they've been trying to build games on chain for a very, very long time.
Awesome.
They also conceptualize some stuff such as game channels. I'll send a link in the channel about this. I think it's a very, very interesting thing that has not been pushed to the limit, I think, or actually put into production. But I do think that it's a very, very cool primitive.
Oh yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, I would love to speak with them and collaborate somehow. Yeah, definitely there is something to learn from what people already built. Thank you for mentioning that.
I just want to second that Ronan, I think, is also one of the pioneers. Really should get him also to be part.
Nice. Yeah, would love to have a chat with them and see how either we can collaborate.
I'll make the leap over there. I'll introduce you to Ronan.
Nice. So if anyone else have anything to add, please do it now. Cool. So I guess so again, thank you very much for joining, everyone, and check out the forum for people that want to be like more active contributors. The first 20 will do like probably subgroups and some working groups out of that. And until next time, thank you all for coming and speak soon.